Hello, beautiful people. I'm in a fantastic mood for two reasons. One, I just woke up from a magnificent nap, always a good thing. And two, it's my birthday week, and I am going to just bask in it. I usually just do the birthday day thing. This year I was like, we're doing a whole week. So here I am with a book haul, and we're going to start it off with one of my most favorite things in the world, and that is Book of the Month. I absolutely love working with Book of the Month. They're the kindest people and they have the best books. I swear to the Lord. I had such a hard time choosing this month. I really did. I was struggling between four of them. I probably will still go out and get a couple of other ones from the month of May. It's that good this month. I will show you the two books that I ended up getting. First up is the latest book from Taylor Adams, who wrote No Exit, which was, at the edge of your seat, nerve-wracking, quite gritty. I am so excited for another book from Taylor. Now, this book follows a woman who is very isolated from everyone. She lives practically in the middle of nowhere with her dog. And she's in contact with two people in the entire world, her neighbor, and then I think her landlord? Yes, the landlord via text. One night in her, loneliness perhaps, she reads a horror book by a man and she hates it desperately and she gives it 1 star online. I'm assuming like a version of Goodreads. And the author ends up reaching out to her and they end up having like an online argument, very publicly. And then soon after this argument occurs, things start happening around her and it feels like she might be being stalked. And she's starting to wonder and question, is the author stalking her? She looks into his past. It looks like he's written many other books similar to this book that she hated that is based around murder and stalking. And so she questions whether it's him, which seems ridiculous, but also like so much fun. So let's read the first line. Prologue, the end. Okay, well, obviously the end is what she's reading of that book. Not a 5-star first line, but I'm so excited to have another of their books in my hands. And the other book that I chose from Book of the Month for this month is The Collected Regrets of Clover. I think this is going to be a really big book this year. I will show you why in a hot second, but I think this might be one of the big books of summer, like on the lines of Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. It's got actually that vibe. Quite an amusing yet heartwarming story. This follows a woman named Clover, and she becomes very interested in death when she's quite young. When she's in kindergarten, her kindergarten teacher drops dead in the middle of reading The Velvet Rabbit? No, Peter Rabbit. And when she grows up, she's quite close to her grandfather who actually raised her. She is traveling the world and he dies very suddenly alone. And so she decides to commit her life to death by becoming a death doula, which first of all, I love the idea of that. I've heard of that before. Really love the concept of it. And so she becomes a death doula and she encounters a woman who sets her on a little mission, essentially. A feisty older woman, and her last wishes are for Clover to go on a road trip across the country to uncover the story of a love story. It sounds really interesting. I don't like love stories, but I am going to love this book. I can just tell. Let's read the first line. The first time I watched someone die, I was 5. Yeah, it's going to be this, first of all, 5-star first line. It's going to be a great book. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to the top of my TBR for sure. So if you are interested in Book of the Month, well, first of all, whether you're in the US or in Canada, hooray, you can sign up. And this month, they are doing a special promotion where if you type in the word flowers, you get your first book for $5. Now that is a really good deal. Usually it's $9.99, I believe, but this month it's $5. Very, very exciting. They're also moving in an interesting direction and doing audiobooks as well. So if you want to sign up for Book of the Month, you can either, pick this up in hardback, or you can pick up the audio. I think you can even download the Book of the Month app and listen to it there. Very exciting. So go and sign up. I am so thrilled that they are here in Canada. I'm not going to stop shouting it from the rooftops. So the reason I think The Collective Regrets of Clover is going to be such a big book this year is manyfold, but one of them is that while I was in the midst of my nap, the doorbell rang, and lo and behold, I got a book from Minotaur Books, and guess what it was? Yep, The Collected Regrets of Clover. So I'm probably going to pass that along to my mom. I think my mom would really enjoy this. In any case, they sent that to me. Thank you guys. And they also sent something that I'm going to keep for myself because we all love a good tote bag. How cute is this? It says, if you want something you don't have, you have to do something you've never done. So sweet. So I'm going to keep my little tote bag for myself, do my shopping with that. Okay, now we are moving on to the books that I got myself. One of them very much on a whim, like an Amazon purchase while also getting deodorant. Okay, very much on a whim. And that is The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I mentioned in my last video that I'm just seeing this author's books everywhere on TikTok. I've become quite obsessed with TikTok. And yes, it seems like everyone and their dog is reading her. I'm curious. I think you can get her on Kindle Unlimited for free. I guess that's the whole point of Kindle Unlimited. If you're interested. I have never read her, but I'm curious, and I did put this on my May TBR, so I could read this at any time now. This follows a housemaid who moves in with the Winchester's house. It's absolutely stunning. And yes, while it is stunning, our main character notices that Nina, the mom in this family, makes extra messes and in order to watch her clean it up, which is very disturbing. She also notices that the father of this family is just looking incredibly downtrodden. And she also notices that the attic bedroom that she stays in has a lock, but it's from the outside. And that is very intriguing. So let's read the first line of The Housemaid. Prologue. If I leave this house, it will be in handcuffs. Oh, that's good. That's a 5-star first line. I'm excited. Maybe it is going to be good after all. I'm kind of nervous about that one because last time I got excited about a book from TikTok. It didn't go well for me. Let's just say that. We've got 3 more books now, all from Value Village excursions that I've had. And the first is a book I have already read and loved. This is a middle grade book. It's called Sweep, the story of a girl and her monster. And this author, Jonathan Auxier, is a wonderful author. I've read 2 or 3 books by him now, and I've loved every single one of them. I'd really like to read this to Nora at some point. She's way too little for this right now. But I am starting to collect little books here and there that I think I'd like to read to her. This book follows a young girl named Nan Sparrow, and she is a chimney sweep. That is what she does day in and day out. It is extremely dangerous and dirty and not healthy for children to do. And yet, as we all know in history, this was something that many children were kind of forced to do. And one day she gets actually stuck into a chimney and believes that she is done for. This is the end of her life. But she wakes up in an attic, a cozy little attic, and there is a golem there that came to save her. And it's such a heartwarming story. Oh my word. So let's read the first line. There are all sorts of wonderful things a person might see very early in the morning. It's a lovely first line, but not a 5-star, I would say. Next up is The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. I have both of her books on my shelves now. This is her second and most recent, and it follows a woman named Shay. When she was in college in New York, she and her friends met this very charismatic man who kind of pulled them into his life, and he ended up being the leader of a cult. Now, she did escape along with her friend Laurel. Everyone else just stayed in the cult. So we are 8 years later, and she discovers that her friend Laurel, who also had escaped, passed away. And she only discovers it via a true crime podcast that she listens to, which is a terrible way to find out that your friend died. She reaches out to the podcast host in the hopes of finding out what actually happened to Laurel, because I guess they had lost touch and she did not know that her life had ended and on this very strange way and veered in a strange direction when she thought everything was fine. Like, she lives in the Texas suburbs, like everything worked out for her, but not for Laurel. So let's find out and let's read the first line of The Last Housewife. Part 1. These are the stories I tell you to save my life. I don't know if that's a 5-star for me. No, it's not a 5-star for me. Okay, last but not least is The Family Plot by Megan Collins. This was kind of a spur of the moment book that I picked up. It sounds interesting though. This follows a woman named Dahlia who is raised in an isolated mansion in the woods. Her parents were completely obsessed with true crime until they found themselves in the midst of one themselves when Dahlia's brother, her twin brother, goes missing when they were just 16 years old. So it has been several years since the disappearance of her brother. Her father passes away and she goes back home. I don't know if it's reluctantly, I imagine so. She's had a hard upbringing. And they make a very terrible discovery that her father's grave not only holds her father, but also Andy's body. Andy's body is there tucked in with her father, and Andy's body looks like it's been bludgeoned with an axe. So she's starting to find out what happened to Andy all of those years ago. Sounds really good. Okay, let's read the first line. My parents named me Dahlia after the Black Dahlia, that actress whose body was cleaved in half, left in grass as sharp as scalpels. A permanent smile sliced onto her face, and when I first learned her story at 4 years old, I assumed a knife would one day carve me up. That's a great first line. Megan Collins, that's fantastic. 5 stars for that first line. Wow. Okay, this has been a very good haul for 5-star first lines. I think probably the best ever. Let me know in the comments below, have you read any of these books? And if you did you enjoy them? Please say yes. Please say yes, because I'm excited about all of them. I hope you are doing really well, and I will talk with you soon. Also, wait, let me know if you have picked anything up as of late that you are excited about. I'd love to know. I'll talk with you soon. Bye.